All right, live again. I don't know if we're on yet or not. And there's definitely going to be a lag. So okay, for those of you who are here, if you guys can hear me, if anybody's here, I can't even see who's here or not. Post something in the chat if you don't mind, so I can know that somebody's here. Yeah, I don't see any. Oh, okay. Javier is here. What's up, Javier? Where are you coming from, Javier? Where do you live? David, where do you live? Where's everybody live? Beast. Oh, yeah. News Corp. Yeah. Killing it. Yeah, yeah. Earnings, did they release today? Yes. Okay, so they are releasing today. South America. And Javier, where in South America? I lived there for 10 years myself. We lived in Colombia. All right, nothing going on here. Santa Monica, David. Oh, that David. Duh. All right. David from our Slack. Okay, let's look here. We have potentially double top. I raised, I added, and I raised. Let me go ahead. Sell, stop. Make sure my positions are correct. And I'm looking for. Okay, good. Gold. Oh, you're in Lima. Cool. A lot of Peruvian friends. Worked with a lot of Peruvians back in like back in the 2000s. Let's see. Oh, cool. All right, so we've got we added that third position, and we've got some congestion here. Potential double top again. We did not put in a higher high, but we have not put in a lower low. So what I'm looking for is to a potential lower low to get out if need be. Because right now that's looking ugly. I've got a minute 37. Let me just get that out of the way. I got a minute 37 on this candle. Let's have a look at what NASDAQ's doing. NASDAQ's dumping. So obviously that's not going to be a headwind. It's not going to be a headwind for the Russell, but it's not, NASDAQ not doing anything is what I want. NASDAQ selling off, I'm not sure that that's what I want. And definitely Russell rallying to, 10,000 is what I want. Let's see. Let me go back and look at the NASDAQ, see where we're at, what information. Okay, so we've got a nice Globex low, Globex lows. Okay, so we've got the bear flag, let's call it. Downtrend, let's take 60-minute. Double bottom, potential. And back 10. Okay, so that's a good double top setup on the 10-minute Russell. Okay. So bulls are in control. We have hit the doldrum time of day. So what typically happens is we get some drift, whether we get counter trend drift or just gentle little spikes higher. And on that last ad, previously from the previous video that some of you were in, you might have seen how it was just kind of like lackadaisical and then pop. So it's just a bunch of traders now. Hi, wife. It's just a bunch of traders now. Big banks, big money is not doing too much here. So it's just a bunch of us knuckleheads exchanging contracts with each other. So good, bad, or otherwise. Okay. So the thing about it is, one thing I always want to pay attention to is if a beautiful short setup fails, then that's bullish. And it seems to be failing at the moment. We've got 7 minutes for this candle. But what I'm going to go out to 60 minutes somewhere. Okay. Where are we at? Let's get all this stuff off my screen. Okay. So we are right banging up against where last week, where it got really vicious. So with all the selling from the coronavirus, and then I think it was Friday, right? No, it wasn't Friday. This would have been Friday. It really got accelerated. Let me just look at the calendar so I can look at dates easier. So let's see, the 24th. Okay, so that was the previous Friday, where it really accelerated. And then we spent all of next week until the 31st was Friday. Okay. until Friday when we got our reversal. And it's been always in long since then. So what does that mean? This was the magnet. We are now at the magnet. And now this is where bangity bang, bang, bang is expected, because it's just, that was the magnet, right? So the most logical place to stop and go sideways is here. And then maybe some pullbacks here down to the bottom again, and which we did this morning, up, down, and took out. So it might take a few attempts of banging around down in this area before we can rip higher. But, I'm not going to say it's not going to rip higher. It's just that this is just a natural area of resistance. And you can see it's been kind of this whole area. Let's go 240. Might be easier to see there too. Yeah. So, kind of this general area right in here has been a lot of congestion. So we're back in the middle of it at the top of the range. Not to say that we can't go substantially higher. 10, not 15. Not that we can't go substantially higher, but what's interesting for me is to watch. We're in this general area. Shorts are going to be emboldened to go short. Bulls who were long from down here will have sold, not down there, from down here will possibly have sold at this target level. It's a round number, 1680. So people like to use round numbers. Any questions so far on what we're looking at? Feeling NASDAQ's doing crap. Yep. Oh boy. Let's keep an eye on NASDAQ, because that's the mood of the market. Let's have a look at ES. Okay. Across the board, we're getting weakness there, huh? Something must be happening. I'm probably going to raise, probably going to bring my stop in here. If we get a close below this level here, I will have stopped out. So sell stop. Probably. So low 16.955. Right around 1679.3, I'll be placing a trail stop. So we've gotten in from low here. This is our initial entry. Got in here. Actually, it was a couple of ticks off. I had some slippage there. 71.5 was fill. So we got there, and then there was an add here. Add and a raise was here. And then a raise stop to here. A little lower than that, a couple ticks lower. And then had another add up here. I think it was here. Yeah, it was there. So it was about 20, 30 minutes ago. And now I've got a trail stop up into here. So 1671.5 first entry, 1676.76 point 78. Buy stop 78.9. Oh, here 78. Yeah. Second buy was up here. Not down there. I wanted to. I didn't. I was being weak sauce. Okay, so let's just number it so we can see what. It's the wrong tool. Okay. Nothing all that interesting. Oh, Disney giving it all back, huh? All right. We trail stopped at midline. Got out of that one today or yesterday, I should say. And let's see. Did I take this? What is the symbol? The question is, does TradingView have a plugin that interacts with US brokers? They do. I'll show you my screen here. Well, no, I have paper trading on there. Let's turn that off. So how do you turn paper trading on? Why is that on? Oh, that gives me some space. So I can trade TradeStation, I know for sure, is a US broker. CQG. But to answer your question, Javier, where is that? How can I? Oh, that's so nice. To answer your question, Javier, no. I actually trade through Interactive Brokers, which is right here on my screen. And I just use charts here. Interactive Brokers charting and analytics and all that stuff is just too clunky for me. I much prefer TradeStation charting. So what's behind here? Oh, it's just a picture. Okay. So we get a little more real estate. All right. So this is a great example. We have we had this congestion at that. Remember that congestion area. That's why I have that line there. And we had a double top setup, and it was a beautiful double top. And what happened? Double top failed. What does that mean? We are indeed, bulls are in control. We're looking to extend the trend here. And there we have it. Now, if you're not long, you could certainly have put a buy stop above any one of these. I put a buy stop here. I got filled here and took a little heat. And here we go. My stop is now 1677.5 area. And I'm looking for another move. Now, we can call this, I mean, I wanted to call that a bull flag. I don't see it as a bull flag, but pretty much any pullback can be bought when you're in this sort of regime. And that's what you got. Okay, Javier. Hope that answered your question, good sir. Podemos hacerlo en español ahorita. Grant, nice trading, Chris. You did better than me today. Can I ask? Okay, so this is a question from Grant. Can I ask, do you ever manually take yourself out of trades, or do you always use trail stops? As in profit target? Or it just doesn't feel right? Yeah, no, I mean, so I kind of want to get to this point. I'm gonna hide my P&L. I don't like looking at P&L when I'm trading. Because actually that leads into it. If I'm looking at P&L when I'm trading, that'll say, oh, that's enough money. I want to get out here. No, I usually, depending on the strategy I'm deploying and the trading I'm doing, I trail stop because I want to be pulled out of a trade that just didn't work out, versus like hitting a price target of some magic line. So when I'm day trading in this style, in this market regime, in this area, I really like to trail stop versus take profits or just kind of like pay attention. So when I set my initial stop here, I'm going to look for a close below it for me to exit out of it. But if I don't get it, I'm going to go ahead and, it traded up to here. I got filled again. So I raised my stop now. So I locked in. So the price that I got filled, 1671.5, and then I raised my stop 1673.1. So like 1.5 points, a little over 1.5 per contract, would have locked me in there. If it turned here and dropped down, that probably would have been a break even with the ad, maybe even a negative trade. So once we get up to here, and now I know there's a lot of congestion here, I'm gonna raise my stop because it's gonna be a lot more kerfuffle happening up here. And we have a potential to rip, and I can get in later on. I can always re-enter the market. But so I added to that position, breakout, another move, breakout. And as you can see, it's one step up, a little bit down, step up, a little bit down, step up, a little bit down. Yeah, we do, Javier. In fact, we have a couple of Venezuelans on the team as well. That they're not front facing, but they're part of the team. Yeah, and I spent, I mean, like I said, I spent 10 years in South America, and a year in Mexico, and a little time in Panama. So North America, Central America, South America. Sí, fluente hombre. So anyway, that's what I do. Do what you want to do, Grant. That's just, the whole purpose of this is just kind of to explain what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm gonna raise my stop even higher now. Actually, let me keep the artifact there so it looks, so people can follow along. So this was here. Okay, what's going on with NASDAQ? It's coming back, but not very much. See what's going on? NASDAQ has been the oxygen. And if it's not doing anything, traders are going to go other places. This is just traders happening here. This is not, this isn't somebody like, a big bank or a big firm trading the Russell. This is just like, boys and girls like you and I. So I'm going to raise the stop, 1678.3. Is that right? Yes, 1678.3. It's not a hard stop, so I haven't entered the order. I'll look for a close below the 1678.3 to exit, unless I just start feeling the heat and want to go have lunch or go work out or go enjoy the freezing cold, relatively speaking, winter temperatures in Scottsdale. Okay. All right, so okay, there was something important that happened here, and I don't know why, but let's go to 60-minute. So it spiked and is kind of reversing. So 10. I don't know why that that spiked. Other than, well, I do. Okay, now that I think about it. So again, we're at this congestion level. So we had shorts who were basically seeing this double top, however many tops you want to call it, formation, and getting emboldened to go short, especially with this one here. So up, down, up, and reverse candle. And then this guy goes below. That is very bearish. And then this happened. So bears put their stop right here. And as you can see, there were a lot more bears. Bears were emboldened here. They like, finally, we got the intradays in, NASDAQ's going down, everything's lining up, beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm going to short and I'm going to put my stop here. So most likely what happened was this got taken out and that ripped as short sellers covered their stop. Again, that's just the price action and guessing. So on the 5-minute, it's even more obvious that there was a lot of congestion that we broke out of. So it doesn't mean that that's not the last gap of air that we're screaming for here. It could very well have been, but spell. Sorry. All right, and Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin had a move. Let's see. Wow, what happened there? Same time frame too. Must have been some news or something like that. It gave us that spike. How's the NASDAQ? I mean, if something like that's gonna happen on Bitcoin, on the Russell, and on the NASDAQ, kind of rhymes. I don't know. Maybe there was something hit the markets. Could be. You guys want to look at something? You want me to? Got any questions? Okay, let's do RTY. Back to the money maker. Looking good. Always in long. Huge rally comes down, rallying up to the top. We've got 30 minutes to close the 4-hour candle. That's a bullish extension as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I got a question here. Sell stop spike. Sorry, buy stop spike for bears. Buy stop. Yeah, exactly, David. So they put their stops up above here, and we traded above it, and then boom, bears, because they got emboldened here. This is a whole lot of congestion, and it's something that's going to say to a bear. They see that, they're going to be like, okay, good, this is the top now. Look at this, Nasdaq's break even and going down, and suddenly, Russell's going higher. And so they're in their mind, they're thinking that that's the top, and this is some of the issues that people put into, I look at all the indices and I trade them all. They, like, it'll give me insight or whatever, maybe. As you can see, I kind of jump back and forth because I know that if NASDAQ gets going, people are going to jump on that. That's going to be their thing. That's going to be the deal. Off to the races. Off to the races we go. And probably, yeah, I'm right with my stops, correct? Did just look at my P&L to make sure nothing was amiss, but otherwise, rarely do it. Take that, y'all. So the next buy, but because I already did it here at 3, as you can see, here actually, this is also could be considered a bull flag sort of scenario, depending on the time frame you want to look at it, or it could be a rising wedge, maybe. Whatever it is, regardless of what it is, it's an always in market, and it's just you're looking for any excuse to be long. All right, Disney's out. I wonder what I'm in. I don't know what I have left. Should be a pretty big update on the equity earnings strategy. I'm gonna close that. No, I can't. So I was gonna open up my, I have to run a couple of different interactive broker accounts. And so my day trading account, I need to have open during the day. And I really want to go over and confirm that I have all my, where I'm at on my orders getting filled on my equity strategy. It's a completely different broker. So until I get my second computer or a VPN on this computer or VPS, I have to log out and in and out of it. It's a pain in the butt. These are the hassles. These are the hassles of waiting for delivery of products through the mail. Coffee table is shipped. Accent chair has shipped. Oh, this, it's finally going to start looking like an office and not just some, I don't know, you got my tripod over there, the studio. I've got right next to it, I've got my whiteboard, which has a blankie on top because I don't want it rubbing against the wall until I mount it. I had the TV on. I turned the TV on after the market to get earnings reports. And then I got my couch there. Most importantly, I got my Trading Thunderdome here. I've got my 3 monitors. I've got a 34 and 227s. It's going to be nice. I got some questions. Give me 2 minutes. I gotta walk out for a minute. I'll be back and I'll hit these questions. Let me double check my microphone, which one's being used, by the way. Where is Zoom settings? Oh, here it is. BT on my phone, select the speaker. Okay. All right, I didn't want to take you with me. Okay, I got questions. Let's see. Pablo, what's up, buddy? Oh, no, we'll hire. Still planning on having a trading office down in Scottsdale? I am, Grant. I've got 3 traders. 3 traders we're planning on bringing them in. At the moment, I don't have an office, so we're just going to be, working out of this space here. So even though I have all this, they're going to have to suffer through that until I find an office to fork over some cash and get into. Okay, let's see. Next question. Pablo, ¿qué tal? What computer do I like? David, I love my MacBook Pro. I don't know. I just got a little $300 either an HP or a Dell or something like that. Just kind of a refurbished cheap one because it's a PC. And I just want to kind of, all I need it for is to just access the brokerage accounts. So open, I'll have it open and enter in the trades, but there's nothing happening there. So there's no real, nothing important to really on that thing. The idea is it's kind of an MVP, minimal viable product test. Okay, hold on before I go on about that. It's looking like reversal time on the NASDAQ, another test of the low. It's nothing fancy on S&P. Dow's up near the highs, staying there. And we have two toppy candle patterns. Again, we had all this weakness happening, and now we've got these long wicks, okay? These candle wicks, these long ones, and closing down in the bottom range, half range or whatever. That's a bearish indication. And so likely below the 1680.6, so 1680.5, we might get a bit of a spike. And I want to see how it reacts to that. This is bearish looking. Uptrend, higher lows, higher highs. And if it takes out a new high and closes above the high, we're going to be stopping bears out. So bearish traders are tired, but they're seeing it and they're getting emboldened again. They're getting, they might have said like, hey, I'm out of here. A lot of bears will have said that. And maybe some just like woke up and took it. But most likely what's going to happen is bears are going to start getting extinguished. For keep trying this, this is good because we keep throwing bearish setups at them and they keep trying. That's like the only way you're going to be able to keep this long. Nope. Come on, fingers. Okay. So that's the only way we're going to keep this long rally. We had a bit of a pullback and that breaks, but most likely we're going to have, some weakness or just, some consolidation there, but because you can't, buyers can only keep buying for so long until they kind of exhaust their trigger finger. And there's just no more inventory for them to buy. So what we want to do is we want to keep giving bears beautiful bearish setups to get them stopped out. And soon that will be something that keeps them from continuing because they're just like, hey, you know what? This is just not working. Right. So, and then that's when we start topping out. So until bears stop taking stabs at this, we can probably keep going. But once bears die, it's going to have to be something to where bulls are like, oh crap, I missed it and I got to get in. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Okay, next question. Pablo de Venezuela. Sup? Hola, Pablo. ¿Qué tal? Tengo ganas de arepas. Let's see. Is slippage a big factor for retail traders, Javier? In what sense? It depends on what you're trading. So if you're talking about trading a big contract like this, I don't think slippage is all that big. You're definitely gonna get a tick or two here or there. But Javier, if you're talking about a different contract, like a different type of asset that you're trading, maybe that would have different things. Okay. Sí, Pablo, ¿me puedes preguntar en español? Grant, gotcha. Not sure if you've already decided what traders are coming down or not, but if not, I'd be there in a heartbeat. Would love to trade and learn from you. David as well. So there was a requirement I didn't really pass along. And after talking with people, I realized that there was a requirement that I just hadn't passed it along. So you would have to have completed the system building mastery or backtesting mastery. I forgot the name of the course, which is my big course. And it's expensive. So like, think about it. The ask is buy the course, get like 1,000+ trades manually back tested and have like come to a good system and kind of know where you're at. So that I know you're baselined and you've got like I know that we don't have to start over teaching, you know, where do you place a stop, or how do you do position size, or how do you enter on this thing, or, you know, what's the regime, what's the trend? Like all that needs to be already established so that when people come into the office, they're going to have like, it's going to be the rocket fuel to take them to the next level. But I mean, that course is, I mean, like that is the greatest thing I've ever done. That course is the most important. That's like my master work for now. I'm hopefully be able to continue to get better at making things. But that means that people are going to, I know that I don't need to teach them things, and they've already built systems. They have a tremendous amount of time. They've been baseline. They've gone through the process of manually back testing thousands of trades, whether they've traded them live or not, but they've done the hard work. So they've rewired their mind. So they know that when they see this setup, they don't need to question it. They understand what it is. So that's like my big requirement, Grant. And so if you have, if you've done that course, then yeah, we can talk about coming out. I think I want to do the first couple of traders first and, see how it goes. And, it may be something we just stop out because it just doesn't work. But if it continues, then yeah, I'll be happy to keep bringing people out to the office. Topo Chico. Back to NASDAQ. Yeah, I know it'd be a lot easier. Nobody said this, but I know it'd be a lot easier to have the two screens up and I could just watch one at a time. But you know what? I like it like this. This is good. Okay, David. Got the course, just not the 1,000th backtest yet. Course is great for those who have not done it. Thank you, David. I mean, I love doing that course and the feedback I've gotten from it. And, the people that have actually gone through the whole course and done the work, they have changed as traders 100%. Okay, Pablo, let's say that I don't get filled on signal candle. If the next candle is between the range, do you adjust the R and target? Yes, you adjust the R and target all the time. Every single candle is a new position size. So, okay. So you're looking to short. I'm looking at the picture, Pablo. You're looking to go short. So the way I would see it is here. I'll just drag this onto the screen so people can see what we're talking about. So Pablo sent me this, probably doing a failed breakout, unless you were doing the vol breakout. I don't know what the regime is. I don't know anything there, but there was a vol breakout. So it would have been a buy stop above here. And you could still be long, or you could be doing the failed vol breakout, in which case you would have put a short below this one, no fill, short below this one, no fill, short below this one, no fill, short below this one, no fill. And then now you got this little tiny candle. So short below this one, which means your position size is going to be massive if this candle closes that way. If I answered that for you or not, Pablo, but I hope so. That sounded just like English too. I thought you were going to ask me in Spanish. I haven't done, I don't think I've ever taught trading in Spanish. So like I would sit there and think about like what I call things in English and how to translate them to Spanish. And then I would probably just do the normal translation. All right. Yeah. So closed on the high. on that candle. So we should be getting a new high here. And the new high would be a break above high 82.5. 82.5 is the current high we hit on this next candle. So 82.6 should get us, there's our spike. And again, shorts are going to be hit. So we're going to slap around a bit here as happens, and another double top. And we're probably running out. Your English is very good, Pablo. You know, we're probably getting to the point where bears are tired of getting stopped out trade after trade. I mean, honestly, like if you were trying to short this thing and you shorted and you shorted and you shorted and you shorted and you got stopped and stopped and stopped and stopped, you're probably done for the day. Or maybe you got stopped the first time and you're waiting for this to turn and go lower. So you may just sit here and watch this thing run. But yeah, so we got our quick slap happy trade, which ran the stops at the last few shorts. And now we're looking to roll. Sí, Javier, ¿viviste en Colombia en qué parte? Antes. Ahora sé que eres en Lima. Thought I was going to put music on. I am starving. Ah, también yo. 10 años en Medellín. Ah, yo sé qué significa medallo. I don't think I'm going to get my full position on today. Que o parceiro. Pablo, la oficina está en Arizona, en Estados Unidos. Javier, 100%. Es el cielo, Medellín. Extraño mucho mis amigos allá y todo, sí. Fue una mejor época de mi vida viviendo allá. Antes de mi esposa, obvio. All right, we got 6 minutes on the 4-hour chart. So let me go up to, I just blast through the 4 hours. Have a look on CAD. Well, that looks just like what we went through. Always, okay, so this is kind of a similar setup, right? Kind of as we had with on the Russell, actually, which we currently have on the Russell. They had that big rip up. And so we could kind of consider ourselves potentially here or maybe up in here on that. But it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see where what's going on there. Yen is getting pummeled. It appears we're just not getting bid. Dollars, just all sorts of goodness. Brazil, peso, Kiwi, Aussie, still the strongest. Oh, it's wifey. Euro, just meltdown. It was a bit of a, and yeah, the pound just too much to mess with. Okay, was the move still. All right, let's have a look at equity indexes. Super bullish. As a great, oh, so the Dow is real bullish, but this is a, you know, up, down. This is a, on the E-mini, the S&P, it could be, you know, this is definitely a long looking market. And so, you know, a move above there could be interesting on the S&P. And it's already happened on the Dow. There's just get in however you can. NASDAQ looks completely opposite, but it held Globex lows, which is really nice. I added this morning down in here. So let's go to a 10-minute. Okay, it's holding. Nothing exciting, but so that's NAS. Let's go. Okay, so this is super bullish on the mid caps, and then the Russell, same thing. Nikkei's looking good. There'll be, so the thing about this is, you know, it's going to react in Asia a little bit more than it's going to react in the United States. So if I'm looking to add to my long exposure, if I'm looking to add to my long exposure, I could hit it with the Nikkei and, you know, come in there on a break above that. See, as you can see, it's light trading, except in, you know, if we go to Asia market hours. So obviously it's Nikkei, it's Japan. So it would respond better to Asian hours. Let's have a look at bonds. Bonds are still on offer. Take a look at crude. Nothing interesting on crude and gas. I'm long natty from down in here, came down, broke even, and we're up again. So kind of follow through, see how gold is doing today. There's an interesting double bottom. I like the double bottom here, long on gold. I'm currently long on a weekly time frame, so it's not really anything new, but that is a nice double bottom formation. That big ugly seller got reversed. All these sellers are starting to get bought, so might be something. And copper tends to be same double bottom sort of situation. We're trending up, and just for now, that's a bit of a trend up. Take a look at silver, nothing to see there. Platinum is strong. And we had an ask on corn. I got some questions. I'll get to you guys in a second. We got about 2 minutes on the chart. So nothing going on corn. Beans, nothing interesting there. Wheat, meal. Meal's looking weak, but yeah. And then finally, let's take a look at the Bitcoin. Beautiful breakout. I talked about this last night with some people, and yeah, it's doing exactly as it should. Up, down, scare everybody out, rip, come back down. Let's get back to the RTY and see how we close on the, so we're going to close the 60. We're going to close the 4 hour, 720. When do we close there? Okay, it's at 4. All right. So we're going to close the 4 hour chart. We're going to close the hourly, 30, 15, 10, 5, 1. All those are going to be closing here. So we're going to get some slap happy volatility. And there you go. So as you can see, that's what we're doing because we're closing a big candle at the moment. We'll just kind of see. Probably bears are getting emboldened. Okay, off to questions again. DR is heaven on earth too. You know, I spent 6 months in Haiti on the other side of the island, and it was not heaven on earth, but I really enjoyed my time there. So I didn't really spend much time in, I actually never been to the DR. Chris, I've cleared all of my doubts from FVBO, VBO system, but I'm still figuring out what time frame will fit with my personality. Great question. I like day trading, but I know my exposure will be higher. Cool. All right, so the 4 hours up. And so let's no, so it'll be 12, 4. And go. So we got our 4-hour close, and back to Pablo's question. Still figuring out what time frame fit with my personality. I like day trading, but I know the exposure will be higher. Personally, I don't day trade all the time. I day trade when I can, which means it's going to take a couple of days of me warming up with not just, so I'll paper trade for a day or two, and then I'll go live trading at like maybe 1/10 position size, trading the micros. And then I'll get comfortable with adding positions and trailing and doing everything I did today. And then I'll start going on the big contracts, trading the bigger size and kind of scaling. So it could take a full week for me to get to where I'm trading my full position size on day trading, which means I could have 3, 4, 5 days of no capital trading, just paper trading or, trading on the micros, and miss out on some really great trading days. But the most important thing for me is to when I am live and I am trading, it's going to be important. So with that being said, I run a monthly equity rotation strategy. It trades ETFs in the macro. So it's about 50 different global macro ETFs. So we're talking like water, wood, coal, gas, natural gas, crude, the main indexes, the DAX, the Dow, the FTSE, the Hang Seng, and then also things like, Italy and Spain and Portugal and, the different country ETFs. So it trades about 50 of them. And that's a monthly rotation strategy, which is just unbelievably good and robust and a beast. And that's my long-term system there. Then I have I do my equity earnings strategy. So that is every quarter, about 1 to 2 weeks of the quarter, I will trade the equity earnings strategy, which is the stuff over here on the right-hand side that you can see I'm currently in or exiting a bunch of those positions from the last 2 days. And that thing's at least up 10%, maybe closer to 15% today. For the last 2 days, I think combined, which is averages 10 to 15% every quarter. And we've done that in 2 days so far. So we're right there where we need to be. That's pretty enjoyable. Then I have my swing trading system, which is mostly I'm trading the bigger futures contracts, and I'm trading mostly currencies. I prefer currencies, the FX markets over other things. And so that's an end of day failed vol breakout strategy where I just run through the charts at the end of every day, update my trades, update positions. And just like you saw on the chart you showed me, Pablo, that you adjust it each and every day. So let's say I was going to go short here. I put my short down there, no fill, put my short down here, no fill, put my short here, and now I'm filled and my stop is here. So with this small one, I would have had like probably twice the position size because this one's so big, it's half the position size. And then finally, I do my day trading. And so before I get to there was one more question about that time of day before I get there. So I found that for my personality, so at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, Sunday through Thursday, I just need to be in front of my screen to update those trades. That's the main system. That's all throughout the year, 365 days of the year, or at least the calendar year, not trading days. And then during the equity earnings season, I kind of have to be glued to my screen a little bit more in the open and towards the close of the day. So I'll be getting up at like 5 a.m. and 5:30 is usually when everything starts getting announced and trading. And so that, again, that's only 2 weeks out of the quarter that I do that. And then we have the day trading again. When your question was what time of day here, well, I like to keep that in the corner there. What type of day do I focus on, or do I not trade? I don't trade the open. So I'll usually skip the first half hour of trading. And I'll tell you what, most people think that that's the best time to trade. And I find it to be the worst, personally, for my trading style. There are a lot of scalpers who do pretty good. My friend Sam, he went 4 for 4 scalp in the open today. And I, encouraged him to get into his big fancy car and go drive it around London and go hit the gym, which so far it seems that's what he's been doing. And that's, that's kind of the benefit of having the trading group that we have, is we all kind of support each other. As we know, we've seen each other go on tilt. So finally, anyway, for me, I just don't trade the open usually. I find a lot more benefit to trade in the middle of the day. And that was all on questions so far. So we blasted up, we got this short setup, and now potentially bears, are looking to get out. You see when we broke the 1680 area is generally where we got that big spike up and down. It was a 4-hour candle. It was a 60-minute candle. It was a 3-hour, a 30-minute candle, a 15-minute candle, a 10, 5, 1-minute candle, all basically ended here at this time. So there's going to be a lot of slap happy type price action here. So when you're in down here and here and here, you've got room to breathe. I've raised my stop up to here. Yeah, it could come back up, but right now this is looking as support. This, which was resistance and congestion, is now suddenly looking to be support. So I'm gonna watch how this stuff plays out. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. And a little bit of weakness there too. Take a little weakness on that. And finally, the Dow. The Dow's doing the exact same thing. Little hammer reversal. So yeah, we're just watching. A little more weakness on Russell than on Dow, but who cares? So trail stops in. I know where I'm getting out. I have my 78.3. I'm looking for a close below 1678.3 to exit my position, take profits, and kind of just call it a day. There it is. Again, this happened at the top of the hour, so we're going to know that that is the time frame where stuff gets wacky. 4 hours in, all the candles update, and people are going to start doing all their witchcraft. And so we've got a minute 20. Again, I need to close below the low. Now, this is usually how it happens: is you get that it doesn't quite approach it, and then so you have to sit through an entire another bar that goes all the way down, and if it's strong, it's going to rock. You got it, Pablo. Are you still in Venezuela, Pablo? Juan. All right. Where are you from? Where are you positioned at, Juan? We've got a couple of South Americans in the house, and curious if we got more. Man, Venezuela. That's cool. And you're trading fine. You got enough bandwidth going, Pablo? Yeah, man. Our team, our Venezuelan team, we got them out of there 6 months ago, I think. Took a lot. Oh, one. Cool. My wife's Canadian, but I spent a long time in Colombia. It's much colder. My wife's Calgarian. Okay, so we got the candle closed, did not close below my stop. Again, my stop is right here. We're at congestion, so it makes sense. Blast out, come back, test it, and see what's going to happen here. That was, I mean, that's just SOP. That's just how it works. So, especially the only way to get bears back in the game is to give them some of this stuff. So now I could give bears some, when I take my stop out here, because I'm not the only one who has a stop in this general area, here or here. So if they can pull it down through there and close it there, my blessings to you, Juan. Calgary is freaking freezing, man. I think the last time we were there was in August, and it was cold for August. We went up to, we had this thing called a hootenanny up in Black Falls too. That was fun. So yeah, bears are getting in control here. Let's have a look at NASDAQ. Nothing too exciting. I think it's just everybody's done kind of trading. We're at my stop. Now, again, I'm going to wait for this. I've got 8 minutes now for this to close below there. And I could get stopped, all the way down here based on the way I do it. But the way I usually like to trade is I want to see it come down. And if it doesn't close there, I don't exit. I wait for the close of the bar, not to hit the stop, because you can see what happened is that stop got hit, and now there's buyers. I'm gonna grab a bite to eat. I'm still on live stream. Getting food. All right, my apologies. I'm eating. Yeah, my cousin. He's a sculptor in. Actually, if you're still around, there's these big trees in downtown Calgary. These big, like 14-foot iron trees that are just like bent and everything. My cousin, my wife's cousin, I should say, he's got 2 or 3 of them around the area there, and he's done a few sculptures. There's a park across the river in Inglewood that has a couple of his sculptors there too. So yeah, we're Calgarian here. David, yes, exactly. I mean, this is me. This is how I've been trading for ever. All my back tests, everything. It's just, yeah, I wait for a close below. Otherwise, I get stopped out. Pablo. So Pablo, sometimes having as many instruments as possible is a good way to go about it. The thing is sometimes you can have like, I don't know, 5 or 10 positions on at once, and you're trying to think, okay, which ones do I actually take? And you're going to sit there and watch, like, you're going to take, like I did this. I got in the Aussie USD versus the Aussie instead of the Aussie yen, and the Aussie yen was the actual, best one to do. I just couldn't apply, 1% risk to both of them. So we'll grab some more water. I'm going to try not to eat on camera and on microphone. So if you hear me eating, say, hey, Cucino. I think, didn't we have this conversation a week or two ago, David? And you got stopped out of a trade that we were still in. Thank you, Grant. So now bears are going to be continuing on with what you're saying about, I really like your the idea of the short setups failing that continually entice bears are what fuel long rallies makes a lot of sense. So now we have the potential to a nice reversal looking candle with a bit of a bullish twist to it. If we can close up near the top end of that range, then we could entice new buyers. We could entice new buyers to on this reversal candle to try to get in, but we're kind of, as they say, long in the tooth here, being this far into this rally. Again, it's so 65 to 83, almost 20-point move on the Russell, up 1.2% on the day, maybe 1.3 at its height. So perfect. Okay. So also remember, we just did, as you can see on the bottom right of my screen, you can see that timer. Actually, I see Zoom is over it, so let me move it. Maybe it'll. Yeah, that should be better. You can see NASDAQ did its 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, 60, 30, 15, 10, 5, 1 minute candle update. That's why that is such an interesting time frame to pay attention to. So you're going to get some sort of volatility. And of course, we're getting a doji here. So potential reversal candle opportunity. CRS, can't remember shit, right? Let's take a look at that on the 5. Okay, better reversal. Okay, so comes down, hits, buy a stop above, and potential up 1681 area. About midway through the move, and then we'll start figuring out what's going on in here. But you could also just do this and have the head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder, and just start looking to come back down into this range here. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh yeah, the Bitcoin. Nice. Okay. So far looking bullish. Lots of volatility, bigger sized candles, counter trend here. We did get a slightly lower low, but it held. So if we get a lower high, we're going sideways. And so I'm going to be looking to take out some, either I'm going to raise a stop up and just candle by candle trail it, or if we get a power move and take out the highs, that'll be a higher high. Day-old ribeyes are so delicious. Cooked it last night and didn't finish all of them, so had one left over. Javier, no, I'm spending the month doing carnivore diet, actually. All steak all day. Grant, yeah, now that I'm actually in a location that I can, first of all, I don't know if you know, but I spent the last 3 years, my wife and I spent the last 3 years or so just kind of traveling the world, living in Airbnbs, just being nomadic, just trading from my laptop. And it finally got old after about 3 years. Plus, my wife is pregnant. So we were looking to set up shop somewhere. And we love the heat more than anything. And I mean heat, not like, oh, this is nice, comfortable temperature. I mean, see you later, David. I mean hot heat, like 120. Like that's my prime. I'm so excited for summer. be out running the mountains when it's 120 out is like my happy place. So when we decided to move here, one of the requirements is that we needed to have like the best internet. And so I've got gigabit internet here at the house, which means, you know, assuming it continues to work, I should be able to do live streams more. We're likely going to have a Grant, were you ASU? We're likely going to do this, but we're going to go into a more private room and control access to who gets into it a little bit better. Not that you guys are great. It's just I've done this stuff in the past, and it, you know, it a lot of people, you know, they take advantage of it, and they can make something that if they don't have skin in the game, a lot of people will, you know, just make it a mess for everybody else. So we're probably going to do some sort of moderated room, maybe. Or maybe I'll just keep doing these randomly. What's going on in the NASDAQ? So exciting. How's Dow holding up? Yep, still the best of the day. But Russell is so close to it. 1, 2, 3. I mean, when somebody says, yeah, I'm from, you know, I spent some time in Tempe, like that's code for I partied. Okay, here we go. ASU didn't get its reputation for not doing that. I mean, come on. If you ever want to put a smile on your face, you drive to Tempe and hang out so at any place, and you're going to see young, beautiful ASU people. That'll just make you happy. Okay. So on the 10 minute, let me pull a 5 minute. Probably looks a little bit more, maybe 15. No, 10's doing it. So here's what's interesting. We're going to have the potential to a Head and Shoulders. And so bears are going to see the Head and Shoulders. So they're going to look to sell this one, which means we're not out of the woods yet on the downside. They're going to look to sell the right shoulder somewhere in there, and then take a move below where my stop is placed, probably down below here is a potential. So what I always want to reiterate is the best short moves that fail, that gives you insight that we are in a bull, like bulls are firmly in control. And it's a, you know, always in long, get long in any place, because bulls are just not taking it. Bulls are using every single advantage they can to get into the long positions. So we'll see how this candle does on a potential right shoulder. That's going to embolden the bears, right? So they may come in, step in, take a stab at it and fail. Like this was a big reversal that got thwarted. Now we're up 50% from here to here. We're at this congestion area here. So we're going to expect some congestion. And once you blast through that, bulls take back control. If we turn down, then it's probably going to be a sideways market. I'm trying not to eat on camera. All right, bulls are keeping it. We've got 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes on this candle. So a lot of work to do. Oh. Put a little music on in the background. I don't want to. Apparently, there could be some rights issues. We'll keep that off. I'm going to turn on. I'm going to turn on Bloomberg TV because we're going to have earnings coming out here in about an hour and a half. So I just want to make sure it works. Plus, if I'm wandering away from the screen, I'll give you something else to look at besides just my chart. Okay, and here we are with that right shoulder. We got about 5 minutes still left on this candle, so it's nothing too interesting. We are definitely in the doldrum time, so not looking to add any positions here. The only thing I'd be considering is taking a position off unless we got some real interesting strength. But so far, I don't. Grant's question here. So I'm often trying to buy dips and bottoms at the open. When we get a real downtrend day, how do you deal with that? Just cut the initial first long if it doesn't work out? Well, when we're in bull quiet regime, well, like, and you can be there for a week, you can be there for a month, you can be there for 6 months. I'll usually take, again, I do mostly price action stuff here. So you'll see that I'm just waiting for the proper price action to tell me to get long. So I don't just buy it when it goes down. I have to get reversing. I got to get information that's telling me it's going to go down or it's going to likely turn. Now, statistically, 60, 70, 80% of the time, I will get the turn and I can get long and it'll work out for me. 20, 30, 40% of the time, I don't. So by having excellent position sizing, like proper position sizing, using other techniques to help me get long when the price is actually where it should be, where it's indicating that there is a statistical advantage to be long. And I won't just buy when it's dropping, just because it's a magic line that I think, you know, oh, this magic line means that we're going to hold here. Like you can see it if you look at, you know, I think today's low was a high from last week, right? And we bounced off that. Now, in hindsight, that's obvious. And a lot of aggressive traders will be looking to buy. How many minutes do I have? A minute 30. A lot of aggressive traders will say, oh, here I'm buying it no matter what. I put a limit order down there and buy. Some people will say, not me. I do not do magic lines as an entry point. So I want to be convinced that this magic line actually is in my favor. And when you get a reversal like that, then you know, now I can get up and yes, I could have bought here and caught the absolute bottom dip, but that's not good trading. You'll lose all your money eventually. So I need it to turn in my direction and get convinced. So rather than getting the absolute best fill, 1666, I'm willing to get in at 16, 5 points higher for a higher win rate, because I know that if it's doing this at that bottom level and it's heading this direction, I know that it's going to have a higher likelihood to head back up. Now, last week was a bad week for it. The strategy didn't work that well last week, and things were a lot more volatile. It's noticeable in the price action when you see just bear bar, bear bar, bear bar, bear bar. It was just like all black candles going down. That's pretty obvious. So the reversal, I'm looking for the double bottom pattern. I'm looking for the right setup, and also, I'm waiting until at least the first hour is done with the market, because I want to let all that crazy wackiness tear off and then do it. Now, I don't just buy dips, because there's days where we go higher. There's days where it, just gaps and runs higher in a bull quiet. So specifically, it's the bull quiet regime that I trade that way, and it's not all year long. So if we're in a bear quiet, bear volatile, bull volatile, neutral, I'll trade a different type of, opening. But that's just like the opening volley, and it's a very easy way to go about it. But you can always trade it in other ways. Like I could have just saw these pullbacks and just bought, buy stop above it and, scalp in and out. I can, with this sort of thing, it's a higher now after spending the day, and getting comp speed. Now I see where I made the mistake and not getting on that trade there. I missed that, but I wasn't mentally in the game. So that's why I didn't do it. But just to be, flat out honest, I'm still getting into the game. I'm pretty good today. I'm pretty good, but there's still Chris at his best, and there's room for that. So you could always see this one and say, okay, I'm going to get in for a 1R, and you can, go your full 10 contracts or whatever position size, your large position size. You can jump on that one and then get out here. And maybe that's how you would do it in like a bull volatile or in a sideways quiet or something, one of those regimes. Just categorizing the market regime is like job number one. From there, you can, figure out how to tinker with all these other things. Let's see, Grant. Thank you. I think you just picked up some of these cues off of there you go. Yeah. I mean, it's been 1, 2, 3, 4 higher lows. We need a higher high now. We need to get above here for this trend to really take off. Otherwise, it's looking like it could be weak. But you have your own strategy. You've back tested and you understand what to do there. So I'm not telling you what or the other. That was Grant Hubner I was responding to on the NASDAQ one. Yeah, I think all the indices are. All right. Oh, yeah. Yep, looking good. Don't want it to steal my fire. I want the tailwinds to continue to fill my sail. Oh, look at that. Dow today just keeps going beast. Yeah, health insurance rally, Bloomberg. Humana, we're up 6%. Unum or whatever group up 4%. LNC up 4%. Not a bad day for our healthcare. News Corp's killing it. Big day. We might be up 15% on for the quarter on that one on 2 days of trading. Oh, just like that. Humana's on Bloomberg. Did it even report earnings? Or why are we up? Didn't say earnings on my chart. but that's where I'm in the trade. Huh, oh well. Casper mattress testing IPO appetite. Might have a Casper mattress. In our master, I have a Casper mattress being delivered here any minute. I think it's a great idea to IPO. By far my favorite mattress. All right, holding it together. Holding it together here. Not much going on. Oh. That was not my Casper. I really want to start getting out of this trade so I can log into my other account and take a look. Looking good. Okay, we got that reversal candle. There we go. Okay, so reversal candle. The 4 hour, I mean, look at that. We're almost an hour. It took a whole hour of counter trend to wear that out. That was the 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 minute, 15, 10, 5, 1 candle reversal. So basically everything was coming in. And so a lot of profits, a lot of position changing. So you have this kerfuffle here, and then bears got excited about it. They jumped on it and kind of lost control. Bulls stepped back in. Bulls take control. Bull and bears fight it out. Bulls and bears fight it out. Bulls take control. It looks like bulls have control. So this is probably just a drift long into the close sort of scenario here. We want to see this next candle do something, but keep it in mind, we have this reversal up here too. So let's just see what 60. It's a nice reversal candle. So we're going to have to close the hour, which we have 9 minutes to do above here, either in this candle or the next candle. We're going to have to, because that's a bearish setup, and this is a bullish one, so it's indecision. So far looking good. Okay, I think I'm going to take a moment and log out. I'm going to stay logged in there. Well, we have vastly underperformed our daily goal. But then again, we're only in 2/3, 2/5, or 2/5, I think, of our normal position. I think I've had 3 buys, but only much smaller position size than normal. So not much, but I'm at about half right now. So on the big contract, I should have a handful more than what I have right now. S&P making new highs, huh? Let's have a look. Oh yeah. All right, what's going on, NASDAQ? Ugh. Okay, NASDAQ's rocking. I like it. That'll make Grant Hubner's trade perfect. Let's see if Russell just says, sure, we'll play along. Good. Kind of worried that, or less interested in Russell being, when NASDAQ and everybody else starts rocking, I think that's when we got to worry about Russell petering out. So we're up 29% on NASDAQ right now. Looks good. Yeah, I think we're going to rock there. All right, I don't know if you guys are really all that interested in sitting there watching me stream nothing, so I can cut it off here unless we've got something you guys want to cover here. Grant Robinson, indices inversely correlated? No, just on the on the Russell and the NASDAQ for sure. I'll show you what I mean. So let's do IWM. And let's do 1440, and let's do a monthly actually, or a weekly. And let's do a line. Okay. And then I'm going to add the NASDAQ. So do you see the so NASDAQ is been hitting all-time highs since, so last year, or last summer, 2018 summer, sorry. Everybody was hitting new all-time highs. And then we had the Q4 meltdown, and Russell never recovered. Whereas NASDAQ, within 3 or 4 months of that low, put in new all-time highs, gave it up, new all-time highs, gave it up, new all-time highs. Russell, however, still has not gotten to its all-time high. So there's a big divergence here. When the Momo's happening, when the momentum's going, everybody's wanting to be in NASDAQ because it's working. And everybody, you want Russell to play catch up with it, but it hasn't made it yet. It just hasn't been able to catch up yet. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm talking about with the, when you get NASDAQ kicking off, everybody's, people are going to be dumping money into the NASDAQ. So when you have NASDAQ on a down day, you're going to have a really strong day on Russell. And as you can see, now that NASDAQ is really starting to pop off, Russell is kind of there, but not really there. It's already at the tops. %7 day on the equity earnings strategy. Okay, where's my? Oh, so ugly. WS orders. Okay. 1459. So close. Sell stop in on UNM, so I'm trailing that guy. Probably close at the end of the day. Estee Lauder, heading nicely. Tyson, News Corp, all right there. I love it. Boom. Well, we'll take that. Well, that was worth it. As we're sitting around and not doing anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. What's going on? Let's go to our watch list. Pretty stoked. I got that ad in this morning on the NASDAQ to my long. That was a that was a good one there. Okay, missed that. Missed that. How far did NASDAQ rally? We got doubled in about 10 minutes. Wow, yeah, that's a beast move. Happy trading days to me. So when we were back here looking at this right shoulder potential, head and shoulders, that bears were probably getting this massive down. So we went 1683. We moved all the way down 1678. So 5 points down. And then it looked like we were getting some weakness. So bears were starting to get in here. And then all of a sudden, look who just got stopped out. Not to mention, of course, we've got, you know, the markets generally, like there's some sort of bullishness just hit the markets. So that's going to definitely help rise the ship. Still about 3,500 shy on the day. It's all right. Not bad. Not bad for about half size. All right, I think I'm going to shut this down. Unless anybody's in here dying to see anything else. I don't think I'm going to offer too much more opinion to anybody. I'll give it a second. And it seems that is, I mean, it looks like they halted this thing. Is this thing even trading? All right, this is me. I'm out. Bye, everybody.